this real kid thinking he's gonna be a dope MC.
Yo, word, yo, this cat is far from real, yo.
I've been skating for 7 years and pro for 4 now.
I've been skating for about 7 or 8 years.
3 years.
7.5, 8 years. I'm a has-been. Washed up.
In my rookie year, like,
what was that, 86, 85?
My rookie year on the tour was the first year on the tour, so I guess I really didn't have a rookie year because it was everybody else's rookie year. Last year was my rookie year.
This is your first pro event, am I right?
Yeah. They turned pro so young, you know?
You still went behind the edge.
Yeah.
I'm 14, and this is my second year.
When they're younger and younger, they turn pro at 14 now. I'm 13, and it's insane.
Now there's a Japanese girl who's 9, right? Yeah.
You know, they're making money, they're getting flown places, they don't have curfews.
You really need to be professional and act responsibly, and sometimes a couple of little kids tend to get out of hand and make us all look stupid.
Age doesn't really matter when you're skating. Yeah.
there's a lot more talent now than it was back then. I mean, we started it, we did a couple of things, but whatever these kids do now, it's crazy.
These young guys are crazy.
Real crazy kid.
And there's a lot of wild skaters, man.
This guy, Jaron Grove, he's the best. He's kind of been around. This is his second year being a pro and he wins everything now.
Drinking and partying and...
Any gambling?
No, I was on the young end.
You know, when you're kicking it with all these fools, it's just like being at a house party with all your good friends.
I mean, you hang out with them, you try to lead by example a little bit.
So a lot of the guys just picking up some of the new guys and kind of giving them the role model that they need to kind of follow.
Anybody got any questions?
Yeah, I like skating with the kids. I mean, even when we all skate together, the pros, we help each other, you know?
Be sure and skate for fun.
Skate, have fun. Just enjoy yourself. Just try and keep it fun.
Have fun with it, but just don't get out of hand.
You know, handle your business. Know what your contract says. You know where your hotel is going to be.
You got to be responsible, I mean, to yourself and to your sponsors.
I tell him to get serious. I've seen him out. You know, he's got talent. He's got what it takes. Competitive with everyone out here. You know, so everyone out there, just do your thing.
Come on. Come on. Come on.
Inline Park Finals consists of 10 competitors. They get 2 runs, 65 seconds each, and the best one counts.
Keeping it super simple, Mike Budnick will be the first one up here on the park course. But first, everything you ever wanted to know about an international sex symbol.
Come on.
If you could be any person in the world, who would you be? Have to be Tiger Woods. Are you computer tech or a retro scribbler? Considering I majored in computer science in college, but I touch a computer about once a month now, I'd have to say retro scribbler. Favorite animal? My dog Tyson. What would your last meal be before your death? 2 hamburgers from In-N-Out with their fries and a Dr. Pepper. Who would your one phone call be from prison? My mommy. What's the scariest movie you have ever seen? It'd have to be Bring It On, that stupid cheerleading movie. When and who was your first kiss? She's gonna kill me. Jenny something in 6th grade, 5th grade. I can't believe I can't remember her name. Do you look more like your mom or your dad? I look more like my mom, but sometimes I act a lot like my dad. Who's your hero? That's a tough question. I guess my mom. What's your favorite band? My favorite band right now, it changes a lot, but my favorite band right now is the Eagles, just because I'm into playing the guitar a lot right now. If you were a superhero, who would you be? Well, who would I be? People would say I'm like the Hulk because I got a little bit of a temper, but I would most like to be Batman just because he's got all kinds of toys and stuff. What trick would you most like to be able to do? I'd pretty much take anything Frankie Morales does.
Showing some respect there for a true street skater, Frankie Morales. Mike Budnick, you know, has actually become pretty technical himself. 540 up and over, and then a 720 over the spine, fakie.
And don't forget that sequence began with the transfer to disaster topside soul. As Mike now puts together 3 grinds in a row here, he's really worked on his park-style skating And you can see how it's changed the way that he approaches this run. He's put a lot more grinds into it and a nice variety. Already we've seen about 4 or 5 different grind variations. The porn star, the tying grind, topside sole, really mixing it up.
And there's the alley-oop fish frame, one of his best tricks, but he did it this time on top of the balance beam. You have to be super precise.
Yeah, that balance beam makes all the difference. That alley-oop fish frame is pretty consistent for Mike, but doing it on that balance beam makes it very, very difficult.
A very well-rounded run. Looked like he was going for a little fast slide.
Looked like there was an earthquake.
Well, a couple big spins in the run, but Mike Budnick filled this run with grinds.
To get ready for something like this, you hitting a lot of street stuff and just transferring it over, or are you just skating park?
I'm pretty much, there's a little skate park by my house called ASA that has some mini ramps, a little couple of rails or whatever. It's my home away from home, so I just try to incorporate what I learned there and try to bring it out over here.
Well, unlike the vert where there was almost an entire international field, here we have a lot of Southern Californian skaters, some of the best in the world, including Brian Shima, Dominic Sigona, and Louis Zamora, and of course this guy from Texas, Sean Robertson. He's a true veteran in the park.
Texas represent. Look at how fast Sean is going to start out this run. Headed right for that sub-spine. Big 360 transfer. Wow. Clearing that 3-foot gap. Way high in the air and then upside down, giving the crowd what they came to see, an exciting run from Sean Robertson. Of course, we expect nothing less.
Sort of skating on the edge here.
Really, he looks like he's always on the verge of losing it. But it's exciting as he goes topside acid and then soul grind. Those ledges are steep and fast.
Well, 3 in a row. He did a backside Farfignugan there to finish off those 3 grinds. Starting right back up, going for the launch box one more time. Nose pick 540, throwing out a little extra difficulty. Loses his momentum because he goes down on the landing.
You know, it's been a really exciting run for Sean Robertson, but he's still got time left in the run, so that fall comes at a really inopportune time.
Oh. Going for the fakie 7, land a little bit low. This run started off with a bang, ended out not as well.
To get ready for stuff like this, you know, hitting real street and transferring it over, or you just skating park stuff?
Lately I've just been skating park because all summer or all winter I was off with a knee injury and I didn't skate for 3 months, and now I'm back, so I start skating a little of everything.
Sean Robertson is back. All right, thanks, mate.
Ben Taylor. This guy is about the most improved in the off-season I've seen.
That's the beginning of his run. Fakie 360, alley-oop topside sole.
Little backside backslide. Oh, getting so technical, but having a little trouble with consistency, ends out with a 70 in number 1. Mike Budnick sits on top, but Brian Shima, Louis Zamora, and all the top qualifiers still to come. In the middle of run number 1, Mike Budnick sits on top. He surprised everybody by doing a number of technical tricks. He's more known for being a true park skater. Brought some street style to it. Louis Zamora has never had trouble with his street style.
Louis bringing some of that street style to the park course as he transfers from quarter pipe to quarter pipe and then opting to go around all the spines to get speed for this backside drop alley-oop Mizu 270 back in. Louis pulling a backslide, freestyle backslide. We call it freestyle when they don't grab anything. He had his hands up in the air. That's become really popular of late out in the streets. You'll see a lot of the top street heads, Dominic Sigona, Louis Zamora, Josh Petty, all these guys doing a lot of freestyle stuff.
Louis got a nice flow here, beautiful shuffle, almost a set slide all the way across.
It's actually a backslide shuffle. He's only on 1 foot. And now now setting up, looking at the launch box for one final trick. We saw him doing some great stuff in practice. Disaster backside royale, beautiful, very smooth. Clearing about 12 feet before he lands on that disaster backside royale, brilliant. And then topside acid, 270 shuffle to finish it off. A lot of creative moves from Louis, mixing it up on the coping, backside, and then dropping, and then disaster backside royale. So different looks at two different kinds of grinds, technical and then big.
And he had the great combination of park. He sits on top. Frankie Morales, this guy can take it all away.
Frankie Morales was one of the most exciting rookies last year. This year he's got some experience under his belt. Started out with a 360 in topside sole. I cannot emphasize enough how difficult that trick is, especially considering how low his pants are. Now you have to trust us on this. This is the style with the kids. 900 over the box, onto the trousers.
Onto the boxers. Having some trouble to finish his run off, but super technical in the middle. Brian Shima led all the way through the prelims. Looking to take control again already.
Barely has time to land before he's already jumping into the next trick. That's how you want to link him. This is why Brian Shima led all through prelims and why he looks like he's got the best shot at winning this contest.
Backside royale up the square rail. There are a number of different rails on here, planters, round coping and square, and he's had no trouble on any of them.
The tricks look so beautiful, and he's only about halfway through his run here, and he's already done so many tricks, more than most of the other guys, as he goes abstract 540 over the box. We've seen grinds, we've seen airs, a lot of creativity. It's just a brilliant run.
Oh, little love with the cameraman. Ran into each other. What happens if you collide is you get an extra amount of time, probably about 5 seconds added on, so he'll have plenty of time to finish it up.
Not that Shima needs much more time. He's already packed in so many tricks.
Gotta hand it to the cameraman. They take a beating on occasion.
You can see that after running into the cameraman, Shima seemed a little disoriented. Oh, wow. Soul grind on the rail and then jumps 540 all the way to the flat ground. Showing you here how he links the tricks. That was a grind to a spin and then straight into another spin. But look at this. This was after the buzzer, but remember we got that bonus time. It was worth the wait.
Brian, that was a solid first run there, man. The only bobble you had was someone else's fault.
Yeah, with the camera guy.
Does that sort of thing mesh up? Or you seem to refocus there pretty quickly.
Yeah, it kind of messes up your flow because you just run to the guy and then you stop. I mean, you're in the zone and then it just puts you right back out. It kind of sucks.
He's a big guy too, man.
Okay, he's pretty big.
He knows how to pick the guys to run into. Brian Shima sits on top, and he's actually got a pretty decent lead after one. When we come back, it's more aggressive inline on the park.
Come on. Come on. Come on.
There was the formula. Brian Shima is the leader so far. Here on the park, we are heading into round number 2. And Dominic Sigona, this guy is a true street dog.
Dominic is one of the most exciting true street skaters out there right now. If you watch the video sections or look in the magazines, he has one of the best styles as he goes abstract freestyle 540, no grab, but he had his legs crossed. And then you notice there's sort of a recurring theme here, it looks like, in Dominic's run. It's all freestyle. He's not grabbing anything. Making the point right there as he goes freestyle backslide all the way across the flat and down.
And you can see his peers, Dustin Latimer and the rest of the guys cheering him on. That is super difficult, and he makes it look super stylish.
Wow, disaster all the way across the box, disaster topside sole. Brilliant run so far, mixing up the great style along with really, really brilliant tricks.
20 seconds left to go. Let's keep going.
There goes the ritual before he drops in for another trick. Got a little bit back on his heels, but he stayed on his feet.
True spin, alley-oop, topside sole, all the way across the box. He's had a couple of minor bobbles, but the intensity of this run that is so exciting to watch. Be interesting to see how the judges score it, and then trying to finish it off with the true spin alley topside porn star, but not quite locking on. Look at this style. No grab, abstract 540, crossed his legs. That's what we call abstract. And then again, hands in the air. It's so uniquely rollerblading. And then launching into the topside sole.
I saw you do a little prayer up there before you hit that insane backside. What's up with that?
I don't know, like I just got this thing where before all my tricks, I just have to do it, and I don't know, I guess just a stupid mental block I got, you know?
Well, Mike Budnick, I don't think has really any rituals. He just comes out, spends a lot of time in warm-up, put together a great first run.
But he did leave himself some room for improvement in the first run. This is a nice sequence where he starts out launching into the disaster topside sole and then goes into 540 straight into the fakie 720. Now that's the kind of stuff we're familiar with. We know Mike Budnick can do those and he's very good at them. But what really impressed us in the first round was all these grinds he put into it. Sole grind, straight into topside acid, right into the kind grind. A line similar to Brian Shima's, who's in first place. But these guys getting the good scores, they really link these tricks together. And then he did not do that in the first run, so already we see some improvement. He went grinded up the rail, topside mistrout, and then came Royale back down.
That's something I've never seen from Mike Budnick in a hard contest.
Ooh, wow.
Alley-oop fish brain, perfect again.
So difficult. There's so little room for error up on that high balance beam. If he misses that sole position, you know he's on his head. Again, shouting at the cameraman here. Those guys are getting great shots for us, and these skaters have to make sure that the course is clear for themselves. Alley-oop fish brain at the buzzer. Very nice run for Mike Budnick.
Run number 2, he stepped it up once again.
Look at how he grinds up the rail and then has enough presence of mind to turn around and jump back down the rail of Royale.
What do you think? You got enough to get on the podium there?
I hope so. Everything was going so good until the end, and then I had one hard trick planned for the end, and I never got to it. My legs gave out, but I'm still happy with everything else, so can't be too disappointed.
Here we go. Third place right now against this field. Very impressive. Jason Stinsman, this was last year's Rookie of the Year.
Well, tricks like that, you can see why. Backflip, the landing on the ledge. It's only about 1.5 feet wide, so he's spinning upside down, completely blind, and then try and land it right on that ledge. Very dangerous.
Hey, the course out here, you know, tell me a little bit about it. What do you think of it?
It's a good course. There's a lot of square stuff. Really wasn't designed too well for rollerbladers, but I don't know, it's really tight, but that's kind of cool because you can transfer.
Stinsman spent most of his time in the air. Good enough right now for 7th.
Well, in contrast to the high-flying Stinsman, you're going to see a lot of grinds from this guy, Mike Radaball. True spin, alley porn star, starting it out. Mike's very comfortable in a park environment, spends a lot of time in skate parks. Getting 3 variations out of that combo on the coping.
A 71 for the guy out of Grays Lake, Illinois. Frankie Morales, here's a guy who's very capable of medaling.
As long as he stays on his feet. In the first round, he fell on the 900, really hurt that score. But when he was on his feet and the tricks that he landed were absolutely unbelievable. Started out with a 360 at topside sole in the first round. So if he can stay on his feet here in the second round, he's got a great shot at medaling.
He's got a very squatty style. Everything he lands comes in knees bent really low.
That trick is not supposed to be that consistent. It's a blind 360 into the topside sole. And throwing his hands up and out of frustration. He had a nice little sequence there where he jumps onto the ledge box and then hops back onto the rail. But it got away from him. True spin, alley-oop fish brain, so he makes up for it. Very difficult grind variation on the handrail.
Well, when you true spin it, you have to actually float up over blind onto the rail. Setting up now for the launch.
That's right. This is where he messed up in the first round with the 900.
Stuck it. Just dead on.
So this should improve his score. He'll probably be moving up in the standings after this round. Much better run than the first round. And keeping it going. This is what happens. That's what people forget about a fall. They think if you fall, then you just haven't landed your trick. Well, it also messes up your line. Now Frankie landed the 900. He got another 3 or 4 tricks after it. taking a look at that 360 at topside sole, completely blind, and then the true spin alley fish brain, two very difficult technical combinations. And then, of course, the big spin, the 900, which really was the difference in this round.
72.75 puts him in 5th place with only a couple skaters left to go. As we come down to the wire, just like on vert, our leaders
Gonna go down.
qualified in 1st and 2nd. Louis Zamora, Brian Shima still the skate. Heat 3 presented by MCI is brought to you by the only motor oil that provides the most protection. Castrol DTX, drive hard. And by PacSun. For store locations, log on to PacSun.com. We are down to the wire. Brian Shima, Louis Zamora, they've led all day throughout the competition. The pressure is on Louis because he sits in 2nd. This is his last chance.
Interesting thing about that leaderboard, if I can make a note, is that Mike Budnick right now sits in 3rd amidst all those real street heads. You saw Dominic Sagona in 4th place. So we've got an interesting battle shaping up here between a true park skater like Mike Budnick and all these real street skaters. Louis Zamora now off to another great start here in the 2nd round. He had a brilliant first run. One of the best styles in street skating. He's got a lot of video sections.
Very respected across the board by all of his peers for his clean style. Nice 540 down. Now this run actually less tricks than in the first run around.
Well, you see the tricks that he does. Oh, his skate has come untied. Trying to fix it here in the middle of his run. That's too bad. They don't get technical timeouts to tie their laces. With an interesting shot of Louis getting up close and personal. Brian Shima says, it's okay, man. He said, hey, I had some problems in my first round. Don't worry about it. Of course, Brian ran into the cameraman. So Louis trying to drop in for that disaster royale, but really, I think with the skates coming in tied and taking all that time out, really got him out of his rhythm. Freestyle, backslide shuffle, as he just slides on his boot across the thing, and then this is not going to be as good as his first run score.
I like his course actually better than I've liked any D3 course or any like almost ASA course. There's only like one vert ramp on there. That's how I like to see. I mean, there's only one over there, and that's cool. There's a lot of things to grind. There's just a lot of things you can do. I mean, if I had this park at home, I'd be loving it, you know?
Josh Petty's final run here in the final. So we talked about real street heads. Here's a true street head, Josh Petty. Woke up early to compete in this contest. Usually not accustomed to waking up before the early afternoon. But we're glad he did. Alley-oop fish brain, and then manages to stay on his feet. And then look at what happened after his run. One of the best tricks of the contest, coming in faking into the front side fast slide and then 180 out. Got a lot of love on that one. Definitely one of the best tricks of the contest.
I'm wanting to try. That's the first time I tried that trick. I've been wanting to do it. So I just like, I'm just gonna go lace it.
Lace it he did. Brian Shima has already won this contest. He never looked back after his first prelim run. He has been leading all day, and despite hitting a cameraman, he sits in 1st with no other skaters to go.
I love that sequence that we just saw where he linked all those tricks together, just hopping from one grind to another. He really has run away with this thing. Brian Shima, before the contest, I was talking to him, and he said that he was committed to winning these contests this year because he's trying to earn money to pay for equipment for his car. So he's come out with a new dedication this year to competing. And so I guess when he sets his mind to something, he can do it because he really has had no trouble here with this contest.
Look at the focus. I mean, he's completely focused. Despite the fall, he doesn't even have to be doing tricks.
That was... okay, so he goes from the hawk and the loogie to picking his nose sequence. And then disaster true spin alley-oop Mizu to finish it off. But this one really is just for the crowd and just for fun. Remember, in the first round, he jumped onto that soul grind and then launched 540 all the way to flat ground. There he just did 180, but still one of the most creative things we've seen. And that really is typical of Brian Shima. It's a difficult trick. It's creative. It's cool. What more can you say about this guy? He's got this contest won, and look at this sequence. This was how he started out the run. Look, he barely has time to land before he's already jumping on the next rail. Topside soul on that flat rail. And then disaster, true spin, Elliot Mizu. It's such a hard trick to do normally, and then to do it over that 8-foot gap, just difficult.
I can't believe disaster true Mizu that, dude.
His first run score of 84 takes home the gold. He's got the biggest trophy. Brian Shima wins the first park contest of the year.
I heard Oliver Weisenberg say that Brian Shima can win any contest he wants to win. You think you got the winning formula now? You can keep stepping up every contest?
Not really. I mean, all out here, this is the first comp of the year. You know, all the really good skaters are out. I know Aaron's injured. I know a lot of other people are injured too, but I mean, I guess today was just like one of my lucky days and I won. I don't know.
Thanks for hanging with us at the first stop of the ASA Pro Tour's 2001 season. For a full, complete broadcast schedule, make sure you log on to EXPN.com. This has been a presentation of ESPN, the worldwide leader in sports. For more, log on to EXPN.com.